This video is sponsored by DecalWorks, offering 10% off all graphics to retail customers. Use the promo code RX10 at decalmx.com to receive 10% off your graphics.
Hey guys and gals, welcome to RacerXOnline.com. I'm Chris Kiefer. You're looking at Jay Clark from Dirt Bike TV, and this is his 2023.5 GasGas MC 250 Factory Edition garage build. It's a lot of words, but we're here at Glen Helen today. We're going to go rip this sucker up. A little bit of a different look for this GasGas, and I think Jay informed me earlier this morning that this is the first GasGas MC 250 garage build that we have done.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's going to be one of the first project bikes out there. There's not a lot of these bikes available, so it's kind of cool to see. I really love the look of this new bike.
Yeah, so of course all you guys freak out about red Hondas. GasGas has that look as well, so when you walk out into your shop or garage and you see a red bike, something about you just wants to hang out in the garage a little bit longer and stare at it. So what we're going to do today, we're going to ride this sucker and we're going to talk about it and let you guys know what you guys can do at home to yours. All right, Jay, so take us over what you did to this bike and the reasons why you did what you did.
Okay, so first of all, the stock bike is really good, but the main problem that I have, and I think you might have as well, is the air fork. I'd prefer to have...
I have two problems, Jay.
Okay.
So one is the air fork, you're correct.
Yep. So I want to correct that. And so we went with the WP 6500 kit through factory connection. So we got that. They set up the suspension for me, okay? And
Where are we weighing?
we're not going there. Okay? You know, I'm not defined by numbers. So we're not going to go there. So it's all set up well, and I already test rode it before I got the graphics on it, and it was feeling really good a couple weeks ago. So pretty happy with that. Suspension's good. And then as far as the motor goes, it just needed a little bit more oomph. And I think the ECU, we put an ECU from Jamie at Twisted, and that really seems to help and still have all that good characteristics. You can carry the gears a long time on these types of bikes, but with that ECU from Twisted, it's even better. And the quick shift still is functional, and I think even set up better than maybe the stock does from GasGas. So that's really cool. And then added the Rekluse Torque Drive clutch to give us just a bit more bite. And then of course, FMF muffler. I know these come with a different muffler, but we like FMF, got a good relationship there. And on that one, we kept the insert in, but cut off the Sparky. So because we're not riding at any, off-road parks with this bike, it's just for moto. We cut that off. And then rest of the mods, we got our 3S front tire from Dunlop, MX-14 rear, so it's gonna be perfect for Glen Helen out here today. Probably our last kind of coldish time day out here in Glen Helen for being in May already.
Yeah, we're in May and we're wearing beanies and jackets and hoodies, so pretty crazy. So yeah, like Jay mentioned, two problems for me with this motorcycle. Air fork, sure you can make it work well, but it does change over the course of the day. And for me, I want to have fun on my dirt bike when I want to ride and not test. I just want to have fun and not mess with it. So my second problem with this motorcycle is it doesn't have a lot of torque. Comparative to a YZ250F where it has tons of low-end torque. This is kind of lethargic down low, but like Jay said, really revs out mid to top end, and it pulls very far, but I would like to have a little bit more meat, so adding that Vortex obviously is key. So we're gonna go try all these things out. We're gonna come back, talk to you guys, and see if the juice is worth the squeeze, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then let you know where you can get all this stuff. Be right back. All right, guys, wrapped it up here at Glen Helen Raceway. Fun day, unusual conditions for us. I always like to talk about conditions on these videos. It's May 1st today, May 2nd, and we actually had some moisture here in Southern California, a little bit of rain, cool temps, so great day to test the motorcycle. You can see that in the video. But overall, very fun bike for me to ride. I'll be completely honest with you, I'm not a 250 type of guy, 175 pounds. I like my power, a lot of torque. I'm lazy. I ride a 450 a lot. So for me to say I have fun on a 250 says a lot. I think out of all the garage build videos that I have done, I think I've maybe have said 5 to 7 times that I had fun on a 250. And every time I say that, I'm like, man, I should get one. But with the 250 comes some work if you're a vet rider and you want some torque, especially this MC 250. Having Jamie at Twisted do a Vortex, I talk about an ECU a lot on my show. It really does help this motorcycle. It livens it up, it gives you excitement, it gives you a little bit more torque, it gives you more RPM response. So just for you guys out there that don't know, RPM response and low end torque are 2 different things. RPM response is that crack of the throttle, and then that low RPM torque is that acceleration as you're coming out of the corners, as you can see coming up these hills today. So as you accelerate, I want a little bit of power. I want to be able to shift into third and get that power down to the ground and get up these hills at Glen Helen Raceway. This Vortex ECU, along mated to this FMF slip-on exhaust, really does help that for you MC 250 owners out there. Now I will say the insert is in. I prefer the insert in, kind of like what Jay said. They cut the screen out, put that insert back in, and that gives you some more back pressure, gives you some more RPM response, which this bike needs. Second thing that I don't like that actually was addressed here today was the fork. Not a huge fan of the air fork. You guys buying Austrian model motorcycles, you guys should look into a spring fork. It's tough to buy a $10,000 motorcycle and say, hey man, guess what? You got to spend $1,500 more on a spring fork. Well, for 2024, some of the off-road models out there, KTM, Husqvarna, are coming with a spring fork. Hopefully that migrates over to the moto side. But until then, the 6500 kit from WP is a nice choice. It has a mid-valve, so it's similar to a KYB fork. You get more front-end traction, more front tire contact patch. So here at Glen Helen, I'm always on the edge of my tires, setting up, cutting across. I want to have a lot of front-end feel. You vet riders out there know what I'm talking about. If you don't have front-end traction, I feel like I can't ride a motorcycle. So for me, with this WP kit, that they offer with factory connection valving, it really does give me a plush ride. Although soft for me, Jay Clark is a little bit of a slower rider and heavier than me, but it actually was comfortable. It's balanced. That's what I look for in a motorcycle, is balance. Sure, it's soft, but do both ends go down at the same time? Is there one end harsher than the other? Not on this factory connection stuff. It's really balanced, plush. I'm sure Jay will have a great time out here at Glen Helen. Jay is always out here really early and out early. By the time I'm showing up, Jay's leaving. So for this suspension, I think he'll really like it. There are some other options that I think you guys will like. Going to this split clamp, if you don't have the factory edition, really does help comfort. And of course, doing a different bar than the stock GasGas bar, Pro Taper bar. Right here we have an ODI bar, which is the Champ bend. I prefer a lower bar. I'm almost 6 foot. This feels like a 997 bend to me. To me, when I sit down, it's a little bit too high, so I want a lower bend. But this triple clamp, this split clamp that they offer, KTM, GasGas, Husqvarna, they all offer the split clamp. To me, it does make a noticeable difference within your fork feel, especially when you hit square edge bumps or tall, soft bumps. Think of you guys back east. It does provide more comfort. So I like that. Overall schematic of the bike, I love all the red and black. I'm a huge red and black fan. When I ride other bikes, I try to incorporate a little bit of red and some black within my bikes, no matter what color. I think it looks really good. A couple little things that are subtle, but I do notice when I ride, are the foot pegs. They're a little bit sharper than the stock bed. The Scar makes them. They're a little bit sharper than the stock pegs. As wide, but just a tad bit sharper. Sure, you might go through the soles of your boots a little bit quicker, but I feel like I can really get planted down with my feet. It's really tough for me to get in the balls of my feet as I get older. It's just hard. Riding dirt bikes is hard, period. But finding the balls of your feet when you ride is really tough. I'm not 17 years old, so these pegs provide me the security that I need when I do ride in the balls of my feet. Because when you do that, you actually get a little bit better of a technique and you flow around the track better. So overall, I had a really good time on this bike. For those of you that have not tried a Dunlop MX-14, you might want to try to give that a try. People say, why you run a scoop tire at Glen Helen? For me, I have so much traction up the hills. It's easy to get out of the soft spots, and the 14 on the rear, even in hard pack conditions, isn't that bad compared to the MX-33 Dunlop. I prefer how good it is in the soft stuff versus I'll take a little bit of bad in the hard pack. Lean angle traction is much better than the MX-12. So if you haven't tried the MX-14, for me, I would suggest trying that. There's a 110/90/19 on this bike, and it was really fun to ride here at Glen Helen. So that pretty much sums up Jay Clark's build. If you want any more information about this bike, maybe I didn't cover it right here for you, Chris, K-R-I-S, at KieferIncTesting.com. My door is open for you guys to ask some questions. Maybe I can guide you and hopefully get your money put in the right direction so you're not spending money aimlessly out there and just dumping money into the sport, because it's expensive. Trust me, I know. I'm a middle-class dude and I don't got a lot of money to spend. So not an extravagant build, but effective, so I like that. Stay tuned for more RacerX garage builds right here on RacerXOnline.com. And if you want to subscribe to our magazine, 12 issues, $30, get a free prize. And don't forget RacerX merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all that stuff over on RacerXOnline.com. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you on the next one.